Welcome. How are we today? So today's theme around our practice is around letting go. So in Yin Yoga, it really is a lot about letting go of perhaps an idea that we have about what yoga is, and we may have done other forms of yoga, so we are used to working in a different way. I know for most of you watching today, you have done plenty of Yin Yoga before, but for those who haven't, it's a different practice. So I want to use some mantra today and some poses that we're going to hold poses for a wee while and work on tools and ways of being able to kind of drop into them and relax and soften. So please, you could have a block and you could have a blanket for a bit of height to sit your hips up onto, to give you a little bit of lift in the hips, just to elevate. So we're looking for this nice neutral curve in our spine. Our hips are just tilting slightly forward rather than tilting backwards. We're going to, at some point, need a block or a bolster or a cushion that you could use for underneath the pelvis. Otherwise, you could just stack your blanket up into a higher pile, and I'll show you how to do that. So just come into a seated position and look for that nice long spine. We'll just start with using a mantra. So mantras, when we use mantra, they are in Sanskrit we'll use today, but they don't always have to be. They could be just a collection of words that are positive and inspire you to move into a certain direction. But today we're going to use the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, which Om is the primordial sound of the universe. Namo means I call upon or I bow down to, and Shiva, which it says Shivaya, Shiva is the aspect of the sacred that is related to release, to letting go, to he's known as the Lord of Destruction. So it's said at the moment we're in the time of Shiva. As far as the planet's concerned, we're in a time of destruction, a time of massive change. So we can call upon this energy when we want to burn away things that don't serve us and let go of things that are no longer serving us. And when we use the mantra, we're embracing change. We're asking for things to change. So if mantra doesn't work for you, it's not something that resonates, then just repeat letting go, letting go, letting go, rather than Om Namah Shivaya. So nice long spine. We'll only do this for a few cycles, about a minute, and palms can rest up if you're feeling like you need a little bit of energy. Palms can rest down if you feel like you want to be a little more grounded and connected. Notice what's happening in the shoulders, soften the shoulders. We're looking for the ears, shoulders and hips to be in line. Don't want the shoulders to round forward or the chin to slide forward. Nice long spine. Crown of the head is reaching up. Sitting bones are rooting down. And then just close the eyes down and start to just connect into the breath. Feeling that expansion and contraction of the breath. Notice, how are you? And we could be looking at maybe that we want to let go of some physical aspect of our body that's giving us a little bit of discomfort or tension in the body. We can use today's practice to work around that. We could also be looking at there maybe is something deeper, some kind of self-limiting belief that we have, that we've had enough of, that we're ready to let go of. We could work with that. Maybe there's something else in life that you just feel you're kind of done with, you're ready to let go of. So you can repeat internally or you can say out loud, Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Just two more. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And just keeping the mind quiet, just listen in. And then keeping the gaze soft, we're just going to come into a child's pose. So you might want some support in under the knees. If you're on a hard floor, you could open up your blanket and lay that down onto the floor. Otherwise, just coming into toes together, knees apart. As you come forward, I'll just turn sideways. I want you to sit your hips back to your heels first. And if when you start to come forward, your hips really lift a lot, then you could put your blanket in underneath the sitting bones, or you can bring a block in and pop it in under the head, so that we start to feel this weightiness about the pelvis rather than lifting up, unless you've got knee issues. If you've got any knee issues, by all means let the hips lift and let the head drop forward. If you've got space to just cross the forearms and let the forehead rest down, you can stack the hands onto each other, but the knees need to be wide enough that you create that space for your torso to rest through. Nice big full breath in, and then side out. Let the breath go. Stop trying to control the breath. Often we do that in our yoga practice, but today just letting go. Here with our forehead resting down onto the earth or onto the hands or onto the support. This prefrontal cortex part of the brain here that often gets overloaded with information and stories. Just see if you can visualize with your third eye, also in this region, our Ajna chakra. Just visualize everything draining out, letting go of thoughts, letting go of to-dos and to-don'ts, letting the mind completely empty. And of course the mind may be called back on if there's some kind of discomfort, if there's some tension, or the body's starting to show you a few tight spots. Let's see if you can just soften around those, of course shifting if there's anything sharp or painful, but otherwise see if you can soften. If you can let go of attaching a story to whatever's going on, and just send the breath in. We never want something to be painful in a yin practice, but we can come up against some discomfort. You can feel a little irritated and a little irritable. But if it's not painful or sharp, then see if you can stay with it for a little longer. Often when we make our way through these periods of discomfort that we are able to get the biggest change. But really be mindful that it's not painful. And without changing the breath, just notice the breath. Notice how the body expands and there's a sense of lifting upwards as you inhale. And notice how the body drops and softens, and there's a sense of letting go as we breathe out. Soften the gripping around the eyes, any tensing in the jaw, letting go of any expression. Mind soft, face soft, shoulders soft.
So if the body starts to get a little uncomfortable and a little irritable, you could just repeat that mantra. Either if you prefer to say letting go, just repeat that. Otherwise, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. I'm choosing to let go of that doesn't serve me. Just 3 more breaths here.
You're going to just start to bring yourself upwards. Use the hands and move super slow. There's no hurry. Let the knees move back towards each other into your tabletop position. You're going to bring the hands down onto the floor. Turn the fingertips out a little so the index finger is pointing a little outwards. Spin the biceps forward. The hands are just a little forward of the shoulders. You're going to tuck your toes under and then lift the hips up into a downward dog, but really lazy dog. Or you just to pedal the feet out a little here. Let the hips swing from side to side. And we're going to start to walk the feet and the hands towards each other and keep the feet pretty wide here. The wider the feet are, the more ease you'll find in the hamstrings. Giving yourself a little more space. The feet are about parallel with the outer edges of the mat. Hands come back to the feet, coming into our forward fold here. So the hands could stay down on the floor. You could cross your elbows and hold on to opposite elbows. If this feels like a lot, you could also rest your elbows down onto your thighs and just let your head hang. So the sitting bones are lifted even if the knees are bent a lot, and it's quite nice to let the knees bend a lot so you get this compression between the belly and the thighs. But if you've got space, you can open up and straighten through the back of the legs. But don't push too far, we're here for a while. You've got the option of your blocks, your props, and I'm just going to turn for a moment just to show you an option here. You could even rest your forearms down onto a chair and let your head hang, which is going to give you a nice sense of support as well for anyone who feels like there's a lot going on there. So feet are parallel with the outer edges of the mat, fairly wide if you need to, folding forward. It might feel good here just to start with, just to sway from side to side, releasing any tension in the spine. We get this nice tractioning of the spine. We're able to release little pockets of subluxation in through the vertebra. They stick down. Give the head a little nod, a little shake. Letting go of holding the neck. Let the shoulders even slide up around the ears. Just let gravity take over here. Anytime if you need the hands to come to the floor, if you need to bring the elbows up onto the thighs, go for it. Backs of the legs might start to let you know that there's some tension. Big full inhale, inside out, nice long slow exhale. Again, this feeling through the top of the head and through that prefrontal region that anything's draining away. Any thoughts, any plans, just completely empty. This one, generally, the longer we hold it, it starts to become more intense. So just check and see that you're not gripping the shoulders, let them go, soften the jaw, let it go. Let go of that inner conversation, the dialogue that you're perhaps having here, about how long it's going to take, how much more have we got to go. Let that go. 3 more breaths. What can you soften for 3 more breaths?
From here, I want you just to bring the hands down to the earth. You can come onto the fingertips. Take a block or a cushion or a prop. I'll use a block here. You're going to take that back behind us, and this is not going to suit everybody. So if you've got knee issues, I'm going to show you something different. We're going to turn the toes out, and we're going to start to bend the knees and come down into a squat. So having the prop to sit on often helps us to soften and let go a little more. Now for you guys who maybe have knee problems and this feels too much, if you couldn't come down to the squat from the standing position, then just come to the floor, sit on the prop, and then we're going to take the knees wide, turn the toes out. Also the option here, as I've got the chair here, is that you could sit on a chair, sit on the sofa, toes turn out, knees are wide. Same thing here, you're just gently pressing the knees away from each other. Spine's nice and long. You could be more upright, taking this position. So there's always a way around to find a shape that works. And the nice thing with our yin practice is that we're not looking at how the pose looks. We're feeling, how does the pose feel? So here I want to keep the spine nice and long today to start with. Lift the chest, let the chin drop gently down, so we're keeping a long spine, and we're gently pressing the knees open. You could keep the hands into prayer position, or you could reach the fingertips to the floor, arms wide, roll the shoulders back and down. Nice slow breath. See if you can let go of needing the shape to be a certain way, needing to feel a certain amount. Just be pretty comfortable with where you're at, not pushing too much, not doing too little. Notice on the inhales how the breath widens the torso, expands the shoulders. How does that affect the legs? See what you can soften. Eckhart Tolle says sometimes letting things go is an act of far greater power than defending or holding on. So you see if you can let go of the need to hold on. If you need to come back to child's pose, that's a great option. If you need to shift up to a chair or a bit of height, perfectly good option. If we come back to the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, or just let go. Let go, let go. Breathing in, let go, breathing out, let go. Just the fact that you have stepped onto your mat today says that you're embracing the power of change. You're ready to let something go or to make a change somewhere. And super slow, wherever you are, just start to release the arms. Bring yourself upright. The inner legs could feel a little tender here. If you're up onto a block, just be aware, be cautious. If you're up on the chair, just come to the floor. Just start to walk the toes back towards each other. Lean back if you can, reach the floor. Just to support you, so you've got that support. Otherwise, lean forward, slide your block out. Bring the hips back to the floor. We're all going to lean back here. Take the feet about the width of the mat, and you're just going to gently rock the knees from side to side, feeling what's going on the inner legs. And then turn to face you to start with. If you need that little bit of lift in under the hips, slide that in and under. If you don't need it, all good. We're going to take our left leg out pretty wide,
wide enough that you just start to feel some sensation on the inner leg, and then you're going to fold your right leg in. Now my knee hovers, and so if your knee's doing what my knee's doing, then I want you to pop a block or your cushion or your rolled up towel in and under. And also I've got a knee issue, so for me it's a little better to slide my foot forward. So if that feels better for you and you've got anything going on the knees, then you can move the foot a little further away from you. Otherwise the foot comes in pretty close. And then you can have a block handy, lift up nice and tall. We're just going to start to lean forward. Just folding in, just enough, not pushing or forcing. Soften the shoulders, check and see if you're trying to push yourself into the shape, whether you're looking for a little more. And we've got so much time in a yin practice that we don't have to force our way in or muscle our way in. Soften through the shoulders, letting go of any tension, sending breath into anywhere that's starting to give you a little bit of feedback. And you could here, if you've got space, bring your forearms down onto your prop, your bolster, your cushions. You could stack the block up a little higher, make a little pillow for yourself. If you aren't using the blocks under the legs, you might have a few more props to lean into. And just scanning through the body, noticing for you, where are you getting some sensation? Is it too much? Never wanting sharp or shooting, nothing that you would call pain. But we do reach a point often where there's a sense of real discomfort. So the tissues are starting to lengthen, starting to change their patterns and shapes. They're letting go of holding on. And sometimes just by softening, just by letting go a little more, we can let them shift. And then listening into the body. If the body is inviting you in, you could start to lean in a little further. Maybe a prop in under the head. As I said, you've got lots of options for props. You could even here have a chair in front of you and have the arms crossed on the chair and the head resting onto the chair. And just spin around so that you can see that as an option. This chair's nice and low, so it's a good one, but here I could lean in and rest onto the chair. Ways of staying in the pose for a little longer when we are meeting a little bit of a challenge by connecting to the breath, maybe by sending breath into somewhere where you feel like there's a shift wanting to happen, that the body's trying to release some pattern or tension. We can also scan the body and just inquire into whether we're feeling tension. We're looking for tension, we're looking for compression in our yin practice. Just noticing what you notice. Instead of letting the mind race off into stories and thoughts, just bring it back. With the forehead resting down, if it's made it to a support or a prop, you can let the head hang, let it go. You're putting a little bit of pressure into that third eye region. So here you could even visualize whatever change it is you're looking for.
Soften, soften, soften. Doesn't matter if the body's leaning a little to one side. Making sure that your breath is nice and soft. It's another indication as to whether we're pushing too far. So maybe holding the breath, or the breath is getting really short and choppy. And then super slow, twice as slow as you think you want to move. Just start to think about movement. Think about coming out of the pose. And going like you're in slow motion, so you can start to feel what the body's indicating to you. Where are you feeling sensation? As you move out of the pose, sometimes it can feel a little uncomfortable. And when you come upright, just pause. There's no hurry. No worries, no hurries. And then support that right leg to bring it back. Hold on behind the left thigh and bend that knee. Again, the feet about the width of the mat. Lean back and just super slow. Let the knees windshield wiper from side to side. You can let the hip lift that you're moving away from. And then same pose on the other side. So take any props that you might need. And in yin, we're not looking for exactly the same shape on either side. So if your body doesn't do on the left side what it did on the right, then that's fine. Much more open for me on this side. Got no injuries or issues on this side, so my body's happy to not have as much support or as many props. So just when you first take the shape, don't rush to get anywhere, just notice what's happening, notice the sensation in the legs, notice whether the body leans over towards that bent leg side. See if you can soften and let go a little more. Taking any props that you might need, something under the legs, stack the blocks out in front. You could have blocks here, a chair in front of you. And then just start to lean forward. Keep the spine long to start with. Leaning in. And as the body invites you in, start to explore change, explore going a little further. And once you've leant in and found your edge, this feeling of sensation, probably around the lower back and around the outer hip, IT band, maybe the straight leg, then you can let yourself kind of drop in. You can let the head hang, let go of the shoulders. You can pop a prop in underneath the head if you like that feeling of support. I'm going to turn side on here, that way. And just notice as you came forward, whereabouts in the body did you feel like there was a change? Have you gone too far? And because in yin we want to find an edge, a feeling of sensation, and we want to stay still unless there's pain or unless we want to go deeper. We want to resist the urge to fidget and adjust and change for the sake of it. And so if you go too deep too quick, then you'll probably want to back off a little bit at some point. Ideally, we want you to be able to drop in a little more rather than have to ease back. So don't go too far too quick. And then you stay for time. You let go of holding and tensing. Let go of forcing. Let go of the idea that you need to be doing more. And see if you can just do a little less. The power of letting go. Scan through the body and just notice if there's anywhere that you're tensing or holding. Start from the straight leg and work your way up from the ankle, coming up around the back of the leg and around the knees. See if you're tensing and around the quad. Notice if you're holding the glute. Up and along the lower back, around the sacrum, lower waist. Is there anything you can soften? Checking in with the rib cage on the right, shoulder, the right arm, the right hand. And bring your attention back down to the left side, left ankle, and along that left side, and the left knee, the hip, the glute, and around the lower back, waist. What about the rib cage on the left? The shoulder on the left, the right arm, anything you can soften. Just 3 more breaths, so if you feel like there is an opportunity to drop in a little further, or you want to remove a prop and just let the head hang and feel the pull of gravity there, try it on. Softening up. And then slowly, super slow, start to make your way upright, pausing at any niggle along the way. Once you get upright, just notice what changed. Where have you released some sense of tug in the tissue or some compression? And then support that left knee, being super mindful, especially of the inner leg, bring the foot to the floor, and the right one, support it. And the muscles have been turned off like that, they take a while to engage, so we don't want to ask them to do too much too quickly. Just lean back onto the hands. Again, just let the knees fall from side to side. Start with a little bit of movement. Then you can gradually let it get bigger if that feels right. You can lift the hips a little as you go from side to side. And then we're going to make our way down onto our back. So I want you to grab some props. You could use a cushion. I quite like the cushion for under my pelvis. We're going to take a bridge pose. But also, if you don't have any blocks or any props, I want you just to take a blanket and make a block type shape out of it. So see, it's not dissimilar. The nice thing with the blanket is that it's quite long, so it gives you a nice base for your pelvis. So just come on down onto your back, have the props nearby. Click, click as I go down. It's always a nice feeling. And then just hug the knees into the chest. Just a little rock from side to side, bit of movement into the lower back. And because we have been static for a wee while, just take one hand to each knee. Just going to move the knees away from you, start to straighten the arms a little, open the knees away from each other, and then bring them back in. So we start to get this nice circular movement of the knees moving in opposite directions, massaging into the hip sockets, letting go of any subluxations or pockets of tension in around the hip sockets. Just take the knees in the other direction, getting that nice movement of synovial fluid into the joints. And then let the feet come back down to the floor. You're going to take your block or your cushion or your blanket, press into the feet. If you're using a block, I'll start with that. Lift the hips, you're going to slide the block in the width way, excuse me, underneath the sacrum, so the widest part of the pelvis, triangular bone. So not down low on the tailbone into the flesh of the buttocks, and not up high into the lower back, so we don't want a back bend. Right into that broadest part of the lower back, pelvis, shoulders away from the ears, and we're just going to let the hips sink onto the block. So if you don't have a block, the cushion or the blanket can come in underneath the pelvis, creating this little back bend. Just walk the shoulders away from the ears. If you can, try not to turn your head. I'm going to turn to look every now and then, but just keep the neck nice and safe. We want to keep a little curve in the neck, so don't let the chin press flat to the chest and the back of the neck can press down flat to the floor, but also don't let the chin hike up so that you're exposing the throat too much and shortening the back of the neck. Just looking for your nice neutral neck shape. And then just let the pelvis feel super heavy here. Ungrip the quads and the glute muscles. If it feels like you would like the support of the legs, you could just let the knees fall together and take the feet a little further apart. That was also nice for any of you who have any kind of SI joint issues or tension in around the sacrum, is that it just broadens and gives you a little bit of space between the bones of the sacrum and the bones of the hips. Allowing yourself to completely feel supported by the floor, by the prop. A little quote by Pooh Bear that says, "Today I'm making the decision to let go of anything that doesn't make me happy, and I'm happily letting them go." Pooh Bear was very wise. And maybe there's somewhere in the body that you want to let go of gripping and holding and tensing. The jaw, the eyes, and go holding at the base of the skull, tensing the shoulders. Maybe there's something deeper that you've chosen you'd like to let go of. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Calling in that energy of change, inviting change in if you need it, if you want it. Let the breath be soft, letting go of any control of the breath. catching the thoughts before they start to wander off and become a story. Just connect either to your mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, or breathing in, let go, breathing out, let go. Connect into the breath. Scan the body for sensation, inviting it to change, to soften. Looking for parts of the body that feel soft and comfortable, that feel open and at ease. Every now and then you notice the body just wants to sigh. Breathe out through the mouth. Let that happen as well. That's just a sign that our nervous system is switching into that rest and repair part of the central nervous system. And then, nice and slow, if you've got the knees falling together, just let them open again. Making sure that the shoulders are out of the ears. You're just going to draw one knee and then the other in towards the body. And you may need to just kind of adjust the pelvis to feel the support again of the prop that you've chosen underneath the hips. And then I want you just to widen the knees out. So the knees are pointing towards the armpits, and you could bring the hands in behind the thighs. You could hold on to opposite elbows and just let the knees compress in towards the body, or the thighs compress in towards the body. As we start to think about coming into the pose called Happy Baby, and this is the first step to that, so this could be plenty. And we're just letting gravity take over, letting the thighs feel heavy and fallen towards the chest, knees towards the armpits, so the knees are a little wider. Then you've got the option here, if you've got room or range, to start to lift the feet up so that the feet are in line with the knees. And then you can bring the hands to the inside of the legs. And for some of you, maybe you can reach up and take a hold of either the inner edge of the foot or the outer edge of the foot. And I want you to watch here that your feet don't collapse in towards each other. We don't want butterfly pose. We want Happy Baby, so feet up over the knees. So if this feels too much, then you can come down and hold on to the shins. Again, the hands could stay resting behind the thighs with the feet up. Otherwise, feet dropping down towards the glutes. Arms could wrap around the knees. Hands could hold on to the knees. Just finding what's working for you. Remember, not forcing, not muscling. I don't want you to change what's happening in the neck or the head when you reach into this pose. So making sure that you're not lifting the chin, that you're not fighting your way into the pose. Enough is enough. Letting go of needing to be in any kind of shape that I'm in. If you're practicing with someone else, letting go of needing to be in the shape that they're in. Just completely accepting that for today, your body is just where it is, and that's perfect. And in any of these shapes, we want gravity to take over. The knees are feeling like they want to sink towards the body, sink towards the armpits, sink towards the floor. You're not gripping or tensing in through the arms. There could be a nice sense of opening through the shoulders as we've reached the arms forward, or as we wrap the arms around. For those of you who are holding on to opposite elbows or holding on to your wrists here, that there can be a nice sense of compression into the forearms, with the back of the legs squeezing into the forearms. Again, not through force, just through letting go. Soften the eyes, soften the jaw, soften the throat. Happy baby pose. Babies embrace change all the time. They're in a constant state of change, of growth, of learning. Just a couple more breaths here. So what can you soften when you know there is just a couple more breaths? And then just tracing your way back. So if you've got a hold of the feet, just bring the hands back behind the thighs. If the feet are up, feet towards the ceiling, then just let the feet drop down towards the glutes. Notice the changes that happen. Notice if you're really softened when you change position, and that could be an indication that perhaps you were pushing a little too far. And then just gently start to bring the knees back towards each other, and that can feel tender on the inner groin region, inner leg. We go slow. And then one foot to the floor, then the other. And just pause here, feeling that nice new flush of blood in through the pelvic region, into the groins and the upper thighs where we were compressing into the lower belly. Could be a sense of heat or a sense of coolness as we feel that kind of physiology and energetic shifts that's happening. And then press into the feet. You're just going to curl the tailbone up to the back of the knees, pivot bone towards the navel, lift the hips and slide your proper way. Just again, you might want it in range for the next shape, but just pause here. Knees fall together, walk the feet apart, just adjust anywhere in the body to find a nice alignment, nice comfortable position. Give me a couple of breaths, just in a neutral position. Happily embracing change, happily letting go, like Pooh Bear. Walk the feet back towards each other. We're going to press into the feet and get you to lift the buttocks, pick up the hips, and you're going to shift your hips over to the left. Now you might want a block or a prop or your cushion off to the side. Just have it handy. Take the arms out in line with the shoulders, palms facing down to start with. So we get the support of the arms. And then lift the knees in towards the body, and then keep that left shoulder anchoring down and drop your knees over towards the right. Now if your left shoulder starts to lift up, it's an indication that you need some support, that you maybe need a block in underneath the knees, maybe between the thighs. And then once you've landed, you can turn the palms to face up. Your right hand can rest onto that left thigh if that feels like it gives you a nice sense of anchoring. You can also bend your left arm and rest it onto the rib cage if there's a lot of pull into the front of the chest on the left and it feels too much. Remembering that we can take a gentler option to start with, and then as the body starts to unfold and let go and the change starts to happen, then we can offer the body a slightly deeper option. But there's no rush. No rush at all. The head can stay straight up. You could turn the gaze over towards the right, or as long as there's no strain, we've got a lot of arterial vessels or blood vessels in the neck, you could turn the head slightly to the left. But really be super mindful that you're not compressing the neck on the left side. Soften and let go of any gripping through that bottom hip. And then, like for me, just noticing that I've got a little more space now, so I can take my block away. You can scan through the body and notice where the body is receiving change. See if you can let go a little more. In our yoga practice, we want to take what we learn on the yoga mat out into the world. So by allowing yourself support and props and comfort when it's needed, maybe you can allow yourself support and props and comfort in life, in situations, when we can let go of trying to control or trying to force. Then maybe we can let go of something in life that we're trying to control or trying to force. When we learn to listen to the cues of the body on the yoga mat and tap into our intuition and our inner wisdom, the sensations of the body, that maybe we can sense into those things in life when we're meeting some challenge or change. Now from here, I want you to follow the breath to the very end of the exhale. When you get there, just tone the abdominal muscles and bring your knees back up through center. So lift the left leg first, then the right one. Just line yourself back up again to level your body out. Take a breath here. Then press into the feet. We're going to pick up the hips and shift them over to the left side of the mat. Turn the palms to face down to give you that support to start with. Then draw the knees in towards you. Then keeping the right shoulder nice and heavy, let the knees drop over to the left this time. The higher the knees come up towards the left shoulder, the more sensation you might feel. But again, if this right shoulder is hiking up and lifting up, then you're much better to support the knees to start. Taking a prop under or between. Turn the palms to face up. Turning the glutes off. Can feel into the expansion of the breath here. Often we can feel a lot more opening on the right side, the side that we're turning away from. We open that lung up. And as you breathe out, just letting go. Let the body soften, sink. and listening to the body. If there's a shift or a change and you need more support, take it. If you need less support, you can adjust. Two more breaths. What can you soften? Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. At the end of an exhale, feel that tone that happens through the centre of the body. Hold that tone to support the lower back. Right foot to the floor and the left one. Just line the hips back up with the shoulders, feet back in line with the hips. The knees fall together here. Just take a few breaths. Sensing and feeling into the body. And then taking whatever shape works for you for Shavasana. So this could be it. You could be pretty comfortable with the knees falling together and the feet apart. You could take the legs out long. Palms can face up and away from the body, or you can let the hands rest onto the body. Making sure that the backs of the arms can rest onto the floor if the hands are resting onto the body. Taking support under the knees or under the head that you need. Take a nice full breath in and then exhale it out. I'm just going to shift up into a seated position so I can read you a lovely poem that you may or may not have heard before. Just feeling yourself supported by the earth beneath you. Completely soften, letting go of any control of the breath, just be breathed. And I'll read you this lovely poem which comes out of the book The Language of Yin by the lovely Gabrielle Harris. It's a poem by Sapphire Rose, who's a poet and a teacher and a spiritual life coach, called She Let Go. She let go without a thought or a word. She let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around in her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons, wholly and completely, without hesitation, without worry. She just let go. She didn't ask anyone for their advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't research the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all of the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write it and project the date in her diary and a day timer. She made no public announcement. She put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read the daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyse whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. There was no one around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing, like a leaf falling from the tree. She just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it was just that. And in that space of letting go, she let it all be, and a small smile came over her face, like a light breeze blew through her.
and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. She just let go. So as you're ready, super slow, just start to bring that little bit of movement back into the body. Start to deepen into the breath. And thinking about which side you might want to roll over to, make a little support for yourself of the arm on that side as you bend the knees. Roll over onto the side, curling into that little fetal shape, that little seed shape, the shape that we could say, the shape of the new beginning. And just making your way up into seated position. Finding a nice long spine again. Reaching the fingertips out alongside the hips. Inhale, raise the arms up and the palms to connect, and then let the hands come down through the center line. Keep the chest lifted, but just bow the head down towards the heart, acknowledging the wisdom and intuition. And then just let a small smile light up your face a little, making that commitment today just to let go. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste. Enjoy whatever's next in your day.